everyone, my name is Bridget and today we're going to be talking about 5 signs that you're spiritually bypassing. This is our check for all empaths out there, for anyone on the spiritual path, to see if we've actually shut ourselves down or maybe excluding the outside world, other people, because it's too draining, or they're not like me, they don't understand, or having these certain beliefs and these certain energetic boundaries that become unhealthy. So it's like, where is the healthy boundary line and the unhealthy boundary line? And why is it significant to do this at all? So that's what we're going to be getting into, because the thing is actually checking ourselves on this will bring us greater joy, greater connection, greater intimacy, and make sure that we're on our path of service in the world. So that's why it's significant. That's why it's helpful to just like take a moment and be like, all right, let me be real with myself for a second, and it's going to be very helpful. So that's what we're going to be getting into. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for coming. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I have a free meditation for you in the description below. And be sure to watch through to the end of the video, because I've got some really good tips, and if you miss any of the points, then you're going to miss the whole big picture to really make sure that you're on your path and doing what you came here to do. Okay, so the 5 different ways that you might be bypassing, and also some different frameworks that you can then introduce and reorient so that you're more excited and engaged with life and your reality and other people. So the first way is the check. Is like, all right, okay, have I taken this too far? One way would be to assess is if when you get invited out into the exterior world or to certain things, no matter what they are, spiritual, not spiritual, if there's anxiety or if there's fear, right? There's like, I don't know about that. Those are really great checks in the body, in your sensitivity, to see if you feel those things. Another indicator would be justification. So this is more in the mind, where it's like, I don't know if there's any advantages, like they're not as spiritual as me, or they might not understand me. These kinds of justifications of projections of what it could be, rather than an actual sensing of like, hey, maybe that this is something that the reality is providing with me and this is synchronistic. So that kind of like defensive withdrawal from in our minds, in our own heads and beliefs, and this separation of maybe we're better than them or I'm so different, those things. And then the body feeling of maybe anxiety or fear or resistance can be some indicators that we've taken it too far and we need to start kind of greasing the wheel, which is going into number 2, which is building the muscle of your boundaries, of your superpowers, of being empathic or of being spiritual and these kinds of things. We need to put ourselves out in these situations so that we can build the muscles. The reality out there is our gym, and we need to go attend that. You know, we have a membership, we need to get out there. And so it's very important to get out there and be like, okay, let me put myself in this possibly uncomfortable situation and see how I do, and actually use it as a training ground so that we can become more adept and we can become better at building our own energetic boundaries, our field, our communication. It's our testing ground to actually see how much we've advanced and developed ourselves personally and spiritually. It's where we get to test the principles. Okay, I'm talking with my family at Christmas. Am I getting triggered? No. Yes! Success! I mastered it. All right, I'm at the airport. There's this person freaking out. Okay, can I handle that? Yes, my empathic boundary is fantastic. There's many, many examples of like, okay, are we using our voice? Are we being bold? Are we holding our own energy? Are we able to be neutral, compassionate, and loving towards other people, right? So it's our test. It's where we get to see if it's actually been working for us or not. So really getting out there and using it as a muscle and a test is helpful. And I think that in that way too, it's like a training ground simulation, which doesn't seem as daunting if you're consciously using it as that. So that's an approach that you can take. Another way that you can see if you're bypassing and if this has gotten distorted, this idea in your system, is if you're more about yourself than you are about service. because we came here to be of service to others. If you identify with the category of being more of a spiritually awakened person, then that means we're meant to be here to assist other people and not just ourselves. And so that can happen a lot when we kind of get into our own world, when we get into our own spaces. It's like, me, how am I feeling? And it's not then about like, okay, what am I here to hold space for and to gift to the world and assist with? Even if that's just seeing them, being able to be compassionate with them, and of course utilizing your gifts and being on your mission. So it's this idea of, are you more contracted and within your own kind of self-oriented space, or are you willing to be out there and be of service in a powerful way? The fourth way to know if you've been bypassing is if you forgot the belief that life is synchronistic, that your reality and everyone in it holds keys for you towards more awakening, more development, exploring and expressing more of your true self. And I understand that in our belief system structures, it can get kind of wonky because there's conflicting beliefs that happen, and it's like, no, life's against me, or also just like, I'm in my own place and I'm staying in this certain energy. And that's well and good at different times of life, and we'll get into that in the next step. But there's many, many beautiful things that can occur when we open ourselves up and when we surrender to the flow of life. So sometimes we get out of the current of synchronicity, of flow, of our highest destiny, and we kind of try and control it a little bit. And so you can check yourself there and be like, am I in the flow of life? Like, am I in that trust? And of course, moving towards the things that I wish and choose. Or am I kind of resistant and trying to control things? So that's a good way to check yourself, because life is beautiful. Like, this existence is amazing. And so we need to tap into that stream. And when we're in that stream, then it reflects more of that to us. So that's a good way to check in as well. Number 5, which I talk a lot about in my 2 Paths to Spiritual Awakening video, you can check that out here, is that most of the challenges that may have happened in your life catalyzed your spiritual awakening or your spiritual growth. Meaning, challenge can be beneficial. Of course, we want things to be flowing and we want things to be great, but challenge and pressure brings us into these deeper layers of ourselves and awakens and shakes things up for us to become more of our true selves. So if also we're bypassing and only wanting to stay in certain groups of people or only do certain things, or, we kind of like have this separation mentality, again, then we're not on the current of the belief that we're all one also, but also we're missing out on these opportunities that this reality simulation is gifting us. And so remembering that the challenge can bring us greater expansion and joy. So I think that's really important. And the other piece to that video was that there, of course, are times for needed incubated retreat and certain fine-tuned high vibrational setups. And in the video I talk about like spiritual retreats or living in these like really special kind of meditative places and having it be super kind of protected in this very, very high vibrational bubble. And that's very important at different times to set a new marker of your vibration and to calibrate and get certain guidance and downloads from that place. It's really, really helpful. But there's a time and a place for it. So that's where it's up to you to check yourself and be like, all right, I've been hanging out on the beach meditating for too long. It's time to get back in the game. It's time to be the spiritual person that comes down from the mountain and actually assists everyone in the world with service, with compassion, with your gifts, all of those kinds of things. So it's that determination, that differentiation between, is it my time to retreat and go within, or is it my time to come back out? And it can be easy to kind of get stuck in the in. And sometimes people get stuck in the out so much that they forget to go in. So it's really checking that ebb and flow of your own personal energy and seeing where you can always be of service while taking care of your energy. So it's a perfect balance, but I hope that these 5 tips and reframings have helped you kind of reorient in yourself and get more excited about being within that flow wherever you're in on that stream. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or any other ways that you self-assess or inspirations you'd love to share below, I would love to see those. So please put that in the comments below. If you like videos like this, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and for sure the bell button. Ding ding ding, the bell button, so you get notifications every time I do new videos. And I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.